when you look at black people nowadays, you think of rapper, athlete, you know what I'm saying, entertainer. Those are what you a lot of people seem to think of us as, or the only avenues. Whereas before, we was inventors, we was creators.
Yeah. It's so much more communal, it's more unity. It's like we already know the mission. We know the mission in February, but afterwards you go back to being defensive, untrustworthy, non-communal, don't want to talk. All of those things comes back up. It's like, keep this same energy.
That's how it's presented in the books.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So now it automatically, in my opinion, psychologically, it creates that inferiority in blacks and superiority in the.
Let's go!
Black History Month.
Yeah.
Black History Month, man.
One of my favorite months, man.
Yeah.
Right. I love this. I feel like we finally can come together on this one. So
Hold on, wait. Hold on, real quick. Before you get started.
Oh, damn.
Have y'all seen the Morgan Freeman interview?
No.
Talking about Black History Month. So he's talking about, should there be a Black History Month? Yo, let me show y'all real quick. Hold on. Let me just show y'all.
because I ain't seen this.
Morgan Freeman?
Right.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Yo, hey, this shit, it's tough, y'all. All right, look, watch this.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
Yeah. Break it down, man. What y'all feel about it?
I'm starting to I don't want to say unthink or to make me change the way I feel about Black History Month. Gosh.
But I've heard some people say that, like, so it's should there be a Black History Month? Is it demoralizing? And I come to terms with it on some stuff because it's like, you see some of the things that they offer towards black people, and it's more of a hush-hush. Matter of fact, Malcolm X said it. It's like they don't really do or give us the due respect or the actual things that we're asking for. We'll give you a little something else, and then it's like something to distract you, something to focus on. Like, who actually decided that...
That February
should be Black History Month. The shortest month of the year, you know, and it's like a fluctuating too. Like,
right. Gosh.
Who decided that? And then for Black history, especially in the schooling, it's still revolving around slavery.
Facts.
So it's like, you know.
You mean like the school system is kind of going towards slavery, or what do you mean?
So I remember the curriculum in school was Black history, do a project or essay or something of the sort towards Black icon, and the Black icon, here's a list that you could choose from: Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, you know, everybody revolving around slavery or that were slaves. So it's like still putting you in the category. It's like still putting black in a box.
Facts. It's facts about that, because we only even talk about Black History on that month, and then all it would do was just cram us of all the slaves that happened, and maybe a little bit of a few inventions that we did. That's all it was, especially in the school system. That's all I can remember.
They spoke about George Washington Carver. The only thing they want to talk about, this man making peanut butter. That was actually
the number one thing.
That's one thing, but he never actually invented peanut butter.
Break it down.
He invented, I think it was like over 200 different things and uses for peanuts. But but peanut butter wasn't one of them. Peanut butter was not on the list.
Really?
And then they tried to consider him crazy when he did all of this stuff, because what he did was he went into nature,
right?
You know, and he said they asked him like, "Who gave you this? Who told you this? Who?" And he's a spiritual being.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, nature spoke to me. You know, the flowers spoke to me, and they was like trying to consider him crazy, but he was like, if that was the case, then where did I get it from?
Right. That makes sense.
Right.
I was gonna get back to Morgan though, because as this video started, that's one of my favorite months, if not my favorite month is Black History Month. Right. And to hear him just straight up, he said, "Don't do it. Just why are we doing it?" I said, "Oh." I didn't think he was gonna respond like that. I thought he was gonna say something good, you know. But he had a lot of points about it. Why do we celebrate it? Why we only put our history to 1 month? Why we only recognize it for 1 month when it should be a part of American history? Because
who was it built on the back of? Who was American history built on the back of?
It was exactly.
When you think about
it is our history. It's all American history.
American history.
It shouldn't be just labeled off. That's all American history, and then it's y'all little Black history. It shouldn't. He woke me up. See, he woke me up, Morgan. Morgan, you woke me up.
Now I definitely agree with all y'all points with the you know, with the Black History Month, but then he also touched on this the other part of the interview.
Oh man.
Oh, it's more.
The second half of it, he was talking about
how do we get rid of racism,
and he was saying, "Don't look at me as a black man. Don't look at you as a white man."
Yeah.
Me personally,
I disagree.
I disagree too, man.
Really?
I think that's what should make us
appreciate
each other.
The differences should bring us together.
Okay.
Like the ones who say they're colorblind. Like you acknowledge the color.
That's part of who you are.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you white, you white. If you black,
Right.
you should be proud of that.
Be proud of you. Like yes.
So that's the other part of it that I was like. So I agree with him on the Black history, because Black history is American history.
Yeah.
We really we invented a lot of the stuff. Traffic lights, toilets. I saw
Phones,
I saw
light bulb
it was
too.
like an Instagram short, and they went through like all the inventions that black people came up with, and it's damn near everything. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, FMF Mob? What's good, yo? Hey, I want to thank y'all for all the subscribers that we got. We clicked over 100 subscribers, but we looking, man, we need more support. So y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Make sure you like the videos and keep showing us support. Y'all take care.
You want to get deep with it?
Everything.
So why do you think they diminish the accomplishments that black people have done in America? Why do you think they diminish it and only break it to 1 month, or maybe not publicize it? Because at this point, the only time that you've seen it, you said it was off of TikTok. TikTok ain't been around for how long?
Yeah.
So it took them this long.
I never would have known, yo.
It took them this long to even show something like that. I want to see if you can be able to send it to me.
Yeah.
But why do you think they did that?
Man, honestly, I think the diminish our greatness.
Okay.
The intellectual, because when you look at black people nowadays, you think of rapper, athlete. You know what I'm saying? Entertainer. Those are what a lot of people seem to think of us as, or the only avenues. Whereas before, we was inventors, we was creators, you know, and so now to see where we started and then what we perceive, not only ourselves but others perceive us that way, it has to be something that was calculated, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
It had to be something calculated, because how do we not know all these great inventions was made by black people?
It goes back to what's being proposed, man, and really, what's the word? What's being proposed, what's been put out there. So it's like, I don't want them to see that, you know. Let me change it this way. That's why I was talking about who controls the media, who controls the screens, the outlets, what's being put out there.
Right.
It's not that we don't see it or don't want to see it. It's that it's not being shown
At all.
You have to dig deep, and then even shout out to Robert Utley. Y'all check out the Robert Utley show. He is uncovering African
on there.
history. I was on there. Man. He was on there. Yeah. He'll be up next.
Exactly.
Man, shout out to him.
With the video that he was on this
right.
A couple months ago, he was on our channel, man.
Yeah,
Y'all check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing something powerful, and he said that even with him, his book knowledge, his library is over $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Like some rare and ancient history, like real facts, you know, that dates back like BC. And one of the things that he said is, if you was to go to Google, which is the #1 search engine, and you type up something, and he looked up stuff that he knew for fact was African, and it always goes to Greek or Europe, or, you know, like they don't like, even with Google, it doesn't track back to African. African history is world history. Black history is American history. Like, we started this.
Right.
We're the birthplace of civilization in Africa. Like, it starts with black.
And the thing to, like, go back to, like, the question that you asked, G.
Yes, sir.
About how, you know, like, pretty much how do we not know this information? It comes down to the power, who's in control. And the thing, I was listening to a YouTube live, and it was the lady, and I haven't fact checked anything.
Okay.
But I can see this being possible. The person behind The Matrix and Terminator was a black woman.
Really?
You know, she wrote a I think it was a book. And you know, whoever, you know, the movie industries or whatever got her work, and she went through like a long legal battle and everything. And according to her, she won the legal battle, and she really owns like the masters, and don't, like I said, I haven't fact checked everything.
We'll look it up, but this is,
but I can see it. I can see it happening because they dragged her through this long legal battle. That's what they do. So and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she had everything like copywritten. Yeah. So even copyrights and things like that don't really matter if you're going up against the powers that be. Because now what they do is they take you to a legal war, and they just drag it out and just wait for you to run out of money, because they not. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And then they end up winning. But in her case, she kept fighting.
She kept going. She kept
going. She said her first case, she lost it or something happened, but she found it was corruption between her lawyers and the other lawyers. So she ended up doing another lawsuit filed against her previous lawyers along with the companies, and she won that. So that's just an example of like what the power is, because I never knew that. You know what I'm saying? The Matrix is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, movie series ever. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Terminator, another great movie series. It started with her. So it's like, how do we not know that? Because the only people it was like a brothers I know did the Matrix, and then not J.J. Abrams, but it's another Steven Spielberg, I think, was
I see the credits. It was the I gotta fact check it too, but I saw somebody was brothers on there, same last name.
Yeah, exactly, for the Matrix. So they get credit for, and I think it's written and produced by. Right. So it's like, how does this stuff happen when you got power and you have the resources to suppress information? Man. That's how stuff doesn't come to the light. But now with the internet and what we doing, we can put it out there. They can't hide everybody. Right. All they can do is just try to keep them down.
Try to limit it.
Or if people start to gather that mindset, they get labeled as crazy,
Right.
or radicals,
Right.
or
you
racist.
have
You too woke.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you trying to be smart? Why you trying?
What they started doing is they started marketing against, and they started
slander campaigns.
There you go.
Slander
There you
campaigns.
go.
Yep.
Try to tear this person down.
They're hate groups.
Yeah.
They hate white people.
Black Panther.
They had
Black
they
Panther
hate
Party.
they hate
They
hate
They
women.
was probably number one.
And what evidence do they have?
None.
Black Panther
Evidence.
Party.
None.
I've seen they was handing out food. They ain't want to use welfare, so they was handing out food to the women in the
They was
families.
Fred Hampton was working with white people.
And,
You know what I'm saying?
and they had to,
Malcolm X started.
they had
working
to
with
take Fred Hampton out when he was like, okay, we need hospitals and schools. And it was in the development. They had to. I'm gonna keep on bringing it back up because it is Black History.
Yes, sir.
We are Black History as we go.
Yes, sir.
They had to take out Nipsey Hussle. He started in his environment and his community. You know, Slauson and in that area, Crenshaw. You know, got a terrible demographic, terrible rep. He actually, you know, linking up with billionaires and stuff and created like community buildings where you can come do tutoring and schooling and stuff for different things and show the black youth that there are more avenues that are possible than just like you said what's being promoted, the athlete entertainer. So it was like, yo, like, he's making real progress here. Take this thing out.
You gotta go. He doing too much.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
Yeah.
Like I don't know no other rapper who used his platform the same way. That's why I'm so influenced by him. He was this generation's Pac to me, and actually he lived longer than Pac, and he was making more moves than Pac. Pac put this stuff out there, and you know, but he was, in my opinion, well, you know, fact check, he was doing more.
Yeah,
he was actually putting these plans into play. I think he got the furthest out. You look at everybody else. Not to slander, not to bash nobody, but everybody else who's made it, the Jay-Z and Dr. Dre and but what have they actually
for the community?
you know, like where is it? You know, like they do stuff, and they do donations, they do charities, they do.
Are you visible in the community? You know what I'm saying? Are you there with the people?
Right. What are you actually building?
Nip was there, you know what I'm saying?
Nip was there.
Yeah.
Nip,
Yeah.
like everybody could talk to him. You know, like it was very powerful. Representation matters, man.
Yeah.
And that's why, like he was creating like black media and stuff. I got his biography, so I'm reading up on it. But he was doing a lot of powerful things, and it was like, yo, he's doing too much. Then the Sebi series that he was coming out with, they shut that down. Then Nick Cannon
he was trying to help the people.
right. Then Nick Cannon tried to step up, and then got him shut down. You know, every time, that's like you said. And then look at the lady who it was her stuff, copywritten, doing things the legal way. And you still get railroaded.
And gotta go through I think she went through like a 12, 13-year legal process.
Right.
To fight for her work that was copywritten to prove that it was hers. And even now, like I said, fact check, I did a little bit of digging, but I'm still doing everything.
Yeah.
But even now, if it is hers, she get labeled as crazy or dismissed because the stuff I seen, I saw her actually talking. And the websites that I seen, they said she lost the first case or whatever, but then the second case, she ended up winning the suit. But they're saying that like it wasn't for the copyright. She won the case against her lawyers for I guess like malpractice or whatever.
Right.
But I'm saying, well, if she lost that case. And they had malpractice, but then she won the case for malpractice against the lawyers. What make you think that case wasn't legit then?
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You thinking, man?
You just it don't make sense.
It
like
don't make
all the
sense.
stuff I seen, they don't give her credit for you won the case against the big boys. You took them out. So like I said, like I'm still doing my digging, but the stuff I have seen. It say something went wrong with the first case. She sued the lawyers from that case, and she has won a suit against that lawyer for the case with the copyrights.
What I want to point out.
So it's crazy, man.
How like the biggest threat to black people is I'm taking them to court.
They know the
I'm
deal.
gonna take them to court.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take them to court. Black people stay out of court, man. Like we'll go to the furthest extent, and then they're like, okay, the next level is, and it's like, you know what? It ain't even that serious, though.
Because you with the money.
That's why what we do is so important, man.
Right.
Like, especially talking to our fellas, man.
Yeah.
We got to get our finances right.
Yes.
And that's why I'm gonna have more episodes coming about how we get to do that, building generational no wealth and all of that stuff.
What the young folks saying? Get the bag.
Yeah, get the bag, man. But you got to
I'm
be
saying,
able
like,
to save the bag. And for all my business owners, man, y'all got to have some loyal friends.
Yeah.
You got to have some loyal friends,
We gotta develop this
loyal
network.
peoples, all of that type of stuff, man. Because I know a defense lawyer, but I need to get like entertainment lawyers, people that can read paperwork, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. But
Right.
you got to have that type of team, man, to
But that's
protect
what-
yourself out here,
Yeah.
for real.
That's what I was going to ask you, because we talked about the problem, and as men, I believe that men should always go to other men or go to the situation knowing that they have the problem, but what they're going to do next and what's the solution. I don't like coming to people with problems. I like coming to them with a solution that come right behind it. So what do you think is the solution towards what I know Morgan Freeman talked about how it shouldn't be Black History and we should be, just by name.
First
You
of all,
should see me as a man.
do you agree? Do you agree that there shouldn't be a Black History one? And do you agree to get rid of racism, get rid of race?
The first part, the Black History Month, after listening to that and think about it for these past 15 minutes, I'm leaning towards understanding what he's saying.
Yeah.
The part of not being Black History Month, but bringing all our history, and it should be American history. I kind of can go. I might have to be on that side, even though on my channel I do challenges on Black History Month. This is the month we're doing now. I really love Black History Month, but he made a big point on there. I shouldn't be just celebrating it just for 1 month. It should be all year round.
Absolutely.
So I might have to. It's all about growth here. I might have to think on this and get it together.
I definitely have thought about it for a while now. I never thought in the sense of whether or not I agree if it should be a Black History Month. I just didn't because you can't have community without communication.
Right.
And I talk to my people as well as part of my purpose is just to get us comfortable with talking to one another. So in Black History Month, in February, it's much easier to approach a Black person and get a response. Afterwards, and this is personal. This is what I've been doing for some years now. Afterwards, it's like pulling teeth.
Really?
Like,
I didn't think of that.
It's so much more communal, it's more unity. It's like we already know the mission. We know the mission in February, but afterwards you go back to being defensive, untrustworthy, non-communal, don't want to talk. All of those things comes back up. It's like keep this same energy.
Right. I think the kind of point on G about like what to do.
The solution.
The
We need a
solution.
solution.
It just for me, man, I think it's about understanding how to accumulate resources. So money, land, businesses, things like that.
Take action. I like that.
Take action, and then also telling people about our history and not being ashamed of it. Because another thing, shout out to Robert Utley, he brought up every group of people been enslaved before. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And throughout history, every group of people has been enslaved.
Why we highlight ours?
You know what I'm saying? Why we act shameful about it? Cause they make us, cause how they put it in the books, in our textbooks and stuff. And like I talked about this on the on I can't remember if it was on here or maybe on Utley's page, on Utley's podcast. But when I was going through class, I was in like 50-50, so it was black and white. So then,
which class? I'm gonna cut you off. Which class?
like growing up in school.
Oh, the school.
So in elementary
okay.
school. So when they introduced slavery in the books, it was like, the white people had slaves and this and that and da da da. So then the white kids in the class would be like, oh, if it was back then, you would have been my slave. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's presented in the books. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So now it automatically, in my opinion, psychologically, it creates that inferiority in blacks and superiority in the whites.
So that's why that could be a reason why they make it to that 1 month, so every year you can remind you, you were slaves.
Right.
Every year to remind you were slaves. Every year to keep you in your mind like that. It keeps us mentally enslaved to say that we always woe and we always bad.
And look, and this the part. We helped y'all get out of that. We helped y'all.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Right.
He let y'all go.
We helped you.
I learned,
you know what I'm saying?
He helped you, so be happy.
So look,
things are getting better.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
Black
check
Lives
this out.
Matter.
Check this out. I heard. No, I haven't heard. I learned that the slaves were freed not for the fact of freeing slaves, but it was
a political move.
It was a political move, an economical move.
Yeah.
The North, they didn't have slaves.
Right.
And the South, you can't beat free labor.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't beat free labor. So the North was fighting to get rid of slavery so that they could have their economic development.
Right.
That's when they got their industries and stuff. Industrial Revolution, all that stuff came right after. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves
as a political move.
For economic development, not to be helping out black people. He didn't like black people either.
Yeah.
No. He didn't like black people either.
Y'all getting deep.
I'm telling you. So that's why I say the solution is teaching the real history and not putting it in a way that we should be shameful about it. We shouldn't be shameful about it. It's about like, that was part of the process.
Right.
Now we developing and we growing.
We need solutions,
and not only that, we contributed a hell of a lot. Other than just being slaves.
Come on,
we
man.
contributed a lot.
Right.
And we did a lot once we got on our own. So just highlighting that type of stuff. So that's what I feel like how we could really eliminate, like you said, not just talking about for 1 month, but throughout the year, because it is American history.
Right. It's so much more.
Sharing that information, and then also talking about like, how can we progress, doing what we doing,
Right.
Sharing this information with y'all, because it's not about hate or anything. It's about like, we love ourselves, we love our people, and we want what's best for our people, and how can we elevate, and that's what we talking about. So man, get your money up, learn your resources.
That's a good solution.
Either you learn laws and all the stuff that's meant to like trip you up along the way. You either learn it or get people that know it and that you trust that know it, that ain't gonna backstab you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because not all a lot of lawyers, I'm not even gonna get deep into that. I'm not even gonna get deep into that. But you gotta get with the right people and then take the steps that's necessary for not just yourselves, but for everybody around you to grow and prosper. So that's how I view it, how we can change that.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that we touched on the problem, but that solution right there is good. I think the solution could be that we should educate ourselves. And then once we educate ourselves, we can educate the next brother and the next sister and the next brother.
But they have to be willing to be educated. Right. That's why I'm talking. The start of the solution for me is the slogan: you can't have community without communication. We got to at least be willing to talk to one another.
Just nicely.
Just talk to one another.
I think also too, when they see, not everybody gonna listen. Not everybody's gonna listen in the beginning. It's about like you said, like us educating ourselves and us progressing, and then the people around us progressing, and then they see it and they be like, damn, like just like in business, man. We all know, we all got businesses, we all entrepreneurs. Right. We all got people where we be like, they don't really believe in us. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. But then once you start making progress and once you start making steps, then they be like, oh damn, like he doing it. Let me try to go ahead and get on now. Right. Or he did it. Let me go talk to him now. Try to get on the wave now. That's
what I tapped on in the Black Culture is Trash episodes. The episodes will be in the description.
Yeah, you gotta watch
it. Like that's one of the... absolutely, I agree. But I don't like the fact that... and it's a fact. And it's just personal. It's a hurdle that we have to get over in order to do that. And a lot of times we have to go outside of the community. We have to go outside of black to get a leg to stand on, and then people see it, and then they like, okay, now we fuck with you. Now we gonna come to you.
I don't know about that, man. I think we just think about our circle. We don't really go outside our circle. the more you expand out, like we not the only ones that think how we think. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think we get caught up with our circle is, oh, that's how it is. When really, especially now with social media, man, like I've been making connections with people all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like we just talked about, we got somebody coming in from Tennessee that connected with us. You know what I'm saying? So I think, it might be extra work. Right. Yeah, it might take extra time, but the people is there. You know what I'm saying? Laziness, it's just our job. It's just our job to go out there and find them, man. Like we just gotta keep moving and keep stopping. Cause I don't want to give our people the stigma all the time. Cause that's what everybody say. Like, oh, like black people don't want to help black people. But look how we connected. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that. It's just maybe the people that's around you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the people that's around y'all. But like the people that I notice around me, everybody trying to elevate and everybody trying to grow too. So I don't want to put that stigma on our people that like, yo, like we don't work together. Yeah. We out trying to backstab each other or just trying to hurt each other. I trust my people more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want to put that stigma on us.
Powerful. Yeah. All right. So you got to take action. You got to keep building, and you got to trust one another. Black history is always happening. It's American history, African history, it's world history. We're much more than slaves, okay? Yes. So we agree with Morgan Freeman on the fact that there don't need to be a Black History Month, right? Because it's doing less than good. But we also think, otherwise on racism. Yeah. So.
Hey, I'll talk to y'all next time, man. Oh, link in the video in the bottom, man. Hey, y'all watch that jump. We out.
Real quick before we go. Maybe at some point